In this video, we are going to be discussing Oasis. It's a multi-purpose, web-based software platform that we utilize here in the ministry to accomplish various tasks. So specifically, we're going to be covering how to log in to Oasis, how to clock in and clock out. So just follow along with me as I share my screen, and we'll jump right in. All right, so here we go. We are on the Oasis webpage right now. More than likely, either from myself or from our compliance officer, you have received a link through Slack to access the Oasis web page. So that link is simply just the hyperlink or the web address to Oasis itself. Normally, what we like to do is set that up on our phones if we're using that through our, our cell phone, or if you're using it at the iPad at the house, it will be set up as basically an application on your phone. So just the way that a normal app is set up. We try to set that up with you. So again, either through myself or again, our compliance officer, you should have received a username and a password. So very simply, if you have not received a username or password from either, again, myself or our compliance officer, make sure that you reach out to us. Let us know that you need one, and we will make sure that we get that set up for you. But it's very simple. All you do is you just type in your username here, and then, of course, your password at the bottom, and then you log in, right? So we'll go ahead and log in. It'll take a few moments for that to begin, to come on, and then it'll take us to this screen. So as you can tell, we are here on the login screen, Lord's Legacy Ministries, and it says my name, and then it has the dashboard and several other items at the bottom. So we'll go over from here in just a moment. We'll go a little bit deeper, but right now, just all you need to know is how to log in, get that username and your password, and you're good to go. All right, guys, so here you are. You're on your dashboard in Oasis. You've got your username, you've got your password. Where do we go to find the different tools that are available to us in Oasis? So here at the left hand of your screen, now again, it might be a little different from your cell phone versus what we're looking at here, viewing here on a computer, but it'll just basically be smushed together in a smaller mobile-based profile. So still though, nonetheless, we're going to be looking for this icon at the top left of the screen. We're going to click that, and you should see a few different drop-down menus. Mine has a little more just due to being an administrator here in the office. I have a little bit more access. Again, just a staff in the home, you'll have your dashboard, you'll have time and attendance, and you have client documentation. So right now, we're going to jump straight into what do we do to clock in. Again, you're going to, from the dashboard, go up to this icon. Click the icon, and you're going to come straight here to time and attendance. From time and attendance, you're going to look for time clock. So we're going to go straight to time clock. All right. And again, this is just to clock in and clock out of your shift. Now, a point to remember is you cannot clock in or clock out of your shift until you've completed your daily note. So in fact, what you'll likely do is you'll complete your daily notes first by going to client documentation and down here to progress note. We'll get to that a little bit later, but just remember, you cannot actually clock in or clock out until you've completed that daily note at the end of your shift. So what you'll be doing in practice is you'll finish your shift, finish your daily note, enter your time in, and enter your time out here on the time clock section of Oasis. All right, so we're here at the time clock. We've finished our daily note for the shift, and now we're ready to punch in and punch out for our shift. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come over here to where it says personnel. We've got two different options. One says participant, one says personnel. So to clock in or clock out, we need to make sure that the personnel tab is what we click there. So again, we want to make sure that we click personnel, and then we're going to come down to where it says select person, and we're going to click our name. You should only see your name if you've clicked personnel there. So, and then what you want to do is you want to make sure you're entering the correct day for the shift that you're working. This gets a little bit tricky if you're working that 4 to 12 or 12 to 8 shift. So very simply, if you're working an 8 to 4 shift, and let's see, today's the 14th, what we're going to do is we're going to come down, we'll click it. It's already got today's date highlighted. I'm just going to highlight that. then highlight it again. Why? I'm going to hit my start date and my end date. It should be the same day. You should not have two different dates for your clock in or your clock out. They should be the same. Otherwise, it kind of messes it up. And remember, you're going to clock in and clock out for each individual shift that you work, even if you work a double. If you work a 4 to 12, and then also you work a 12 to 8, you're going to make sure that you put the correct date and the separate shift times in there. So very quickly, for example, if I'm working the 4 to 12 today on the 14th, I want to make sure that I have the 14th there, right? I'm going to put time in for the direction, and then I'm going to put 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock, 0 minutes at, PM, right? And then we're going to click the service that we're providing. And this is very important. Remember, your service has to match the service that you selected on your daily note. So today is Wednesday, the 14th. So I'm going to make sure that I click this COVID rate. Again, if you're not sure which service you're supposed to select, make sure you watch the daily note portion of this video so that you are familiar with how to and what service you need to select on what day. But since today is a weekday, we're going to click the COVID rate. We go in and we click our site location. So depending on what house or what part of the ministry I'm working in, if I'm working in, one of the homes, I'll click a home, right? If I'm working in, you can also, I guess, technically click residential. If I'm at the office, I would hit headquarters. Let's see, if I'm at the ADT, I click ADT, right? There are all the different areas that we would need. You can select the specific house, ADT. So I'm going to go ahead and just click a house, and then you're going to hit save item, right? So then it just did it. So now let's say, well, okay, here you can see at the bottom, you can see where I clocked in with today's date, what time I clocked in, and where I am saying that I worked and all of that. And again, I can delete it, I can edit it, I can go from there. All right, so let's go ahead and do the clock out. Now, this is something you need to know for a 4 to 12 shift. So I'm going to keep the date the same. And now I'm going to hit out. Now for out, now this is one thing you have to be very careful of, because technically you're working a 4 to 12 shift, but I want you to make sure that you get paid accurately for your time. So to do that, Oasis does not recognize if you put 12 o'clock, technically it's a different day, because 12 a.m. is the beginning of a new day. So what that does is it messes it up, because we have this 14th on here. And if we put 12 a.m., technically that would change the date to the 15th. And Oasis doesn't understand that. So when you're clocking in for a 4 to 12 shift, just make sure that you put your in time at 4 and your out time at 11:59 p.m. All right. So you should be clocking in at 4 p.m. and clocking out at 11:59 p.m. Everything else is going to stay the same. It's the COVID rate, the location, all of that's going to be the same. So if you're working in residential during that 4 to 12 shift, just make sure you clock out at 11:59 so it recognizes that shift. All right, as you can see, we clocked in and clocked out. All I did was I hit save item here again. You can see now, we can see it. It shows up here at the bottom. There's my in time, there's my out time, again, the date and the time that we did that. Again, I can edit or delete these. Let's say that we moved on past that page though, and let's just go back here to dashboard. And let's just say we're curious, did I actually clock in or clock out? I don't remember, I need to check. What I can do is I wanna come back to time and attendance. I can go to time clock, personnel again, click my name. And then all I need to do is I click the date that I'm, curious to find. So let's say it's a range of days. Let's just go back and say, I don't even know. Did I clock in, for the entire month of April? We'll just click from March 31st to today, April 14th, and we'll hit search right here. And when I hit search, what it'll do is it'll bring it up at the bottom and show me all the days that I've clocked in or clocked out. What I can basically do there is just check my work, double check for accuracy, make sure that I've entered in everything accurately so that when payday comes, all that information is accurate and everybody's getting paid accurately. So that's a way, that search feature there is how you can go back and check and make sure that you have, accurately entered in all your time information. Okay, so let's go now and we will talk a little bit about what to do for, clocking in and out for double shifts, working doubles and things of that nature. So Again, we've gone over just a little bit of review. We've gone over how to log in. We've gone over how to find, the different tools available to us here in Oasis. And, specifically in this training, we have gone over how to clock in and clock out. So we talked about at 11 on a 4 to 12 shift, make sure you select the correct date and then again, the correct hours that you're working. What if you're working a double? Let's say you're working a double that transitions dates. For example, a 4 to 12 shift that goes into the next morning, that 12 to 8 shift. So all you do the same thing. You click personnel, you click your name, and you put your start date. Okay. So, but the thing is your start date is going to also be your end date always. So let's say you're working a split shift and you didn't come in at 4. Let's say you came in at 9 p.m. to help cover a shift. So you're going to put your start time at 9 o'clock. Let's say you came in at 9:15 p.m. All right. So that's my start time. We've got that. Now we just need to click the correct service. Let's just click the COVID rate again, because today's Wednesday. It's a weekday. It's a COVID rate. We'll click Kevin. Just say that I worked at Kevin, and I'll save my time. And that should show up at the bottom here again. So we should see that. And again, so what I'm going to do here, since we have 2 end times there, you can just see the difference. I can go through and I can check. All right. Let's just say I accidentally typed in the wrong time. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. Yep. I'm sure I want to delete it. Delete it. All right. Now I just got that 9:15 time. Okay. But so now what we're going to make sure that we do is, as you can see, that's 11:59. Our timeout is going to be exactly the same. But let's just delete it and go over it again for the sake of repetition. So again, I've got my time in at 9:15. I want to make sure I know I'm working a double. I know that I work the 12 to 8 shift as well tonight. However, I still have to clock in and clock out for both shifts. So even if I come in, I don't come at 4 o'clock. I'm splitting the shift and I'm only working from 9:15 to 11:59. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clock out now at 11:59 p.m. COVID, Kevin, I'm going to save it, right? So there's my shift. That's the first shift. Now, if I am clocking in and out for that next shift, it's already, the morning and I've already finished that shift. I've already done my daily notes. Of course, it won't let me do the clock in and clock out unless I've completed the daily notes for that morning shift. So now the only difference is I need to make sure that my date is accurate. So now that it's, the next day, again, 12 a.m. being the beginning of the next day, I am going to adjust the time accordingly. So we're going to go ahead and clock out, and we're going to put 12, or actually we're going to go in because we're clocking in for that shift again. Now we're clocking in for the next shift. The next shift is the 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. shift. So 12 a.m., right, on the 15th. That's the goal. Again, that would be if today's the 14th of Wednesday and I clocked in at 9:15 on the 14th and I clocked out at 11:59 on the 14th. Now I'm clocking in at 12 a.m. on the 15th. Okay, clocking in at 12 a.m. on the 15th, and that's going to be a Thursday, because today, again, that would be technically Thursday. So it's still going to be a COVID rate, and we would save. Now, so let's see what it gave us there. 12:15, right? So there's my time in. Now I'll go back here. Now I'll just do my timeout, right? Timeout. My timeout is going to be what? It's going to be 8 a.m. 8. And, again, you can put your exact time there. COVID again, Kevin. All right. So I just check my work, right? Let's just say I'm just really, okay, man, I don't even know. It's just I've clocked in. I've got it all. So just remember, we can go back from square one, type our name in, and we can just look at it. And let's go ahead and we'll start from March 31st again, and we'll click today, and we can just check our work. We can just look at it and see, what all do we have in there. So I've got an end time at 4 p.m. and an end time at 9:15. Those were the 2 different examples that we showed. And I've got an out time there on the 14th. And it looks like the 15th didn't save. So that, I don't know if that was because the 15th hasn't happened yet. Again, today is actually 4, as you can see, today's 4/14/2021. So I don't know if that just didn't save yet, or if there was an error. But the point is I can actually come here and I can see that. So, and if I have, oh no, the reason it doesn't show it is because look, I didn't click the 15th. I didn't click far enough out. Let's click the 15th and add to it and see what happens. There it is. So those are just some good examples of just how to troubleshoot when you don't see or you're not finding what you're looking for. So there was, I was thinking that I just maybe did something wrong, but that's actually a real kind of a real life scenario of what we might, again, need to troubleshoot to find out why we're not seeing what we're looking for. So just making sure again that we're selecting the right date. It's a very important part of the process. So I selected the right date. Now you can see the in and out for that shift, right? So we got, again, I did this two different examples here. Let's just go ahead and delete this one for the sake of clarity. You should be able to see two complete in and outs here. So an in and out for the 14th, right? And an in and out for the 15th. So there's the 4 to 12 shift, 4 to 11:59, and there's the 12 to 8 shift. And again, just make sure that you're clicking the correct dates and you should be good for clocking in and out. Again, last reminder, the only thing that you want to make sure that's going to get you is if your service here does not match your daily note, you will have, it will give you an error message and you will not be able to clock in or clock out. Remember, Monday through Friday, you're going to collect the COVID rate, right? Any shift during the weeks, if it's a Monday through Friday, you're going to click the COVID rate. If it's a Saturday or Sunday, you're going to make sure you just click this RL 13 or less right here. And that's how you make sure that the service rate is matching with your daily note. All right, team, really appreciate you. Keep watching. Again, if you haven't seen the section on your daily notes yet, make sure you stick around and watch that as well. All right, Lord's Legacy team, we are going to cover right now how to complete correctly our daily notes. So remember that daily notes are how we are able to continue funding the supports that we provide to our participants. So it's a crucial part of what we do here at the ministry, documentation. When we document and make clear the work we've done, we are able to show the state that we are providing the supports that we say we're providing so that we have the ability to keep ministering and loving. So this is a crucial element of the training process. So here we are in Oasis, in our dashboard, and we're going to go again to our little toolbar up here, our little settings area. We're going to go to this. We're going to go from our dashboard to client documentation. So go ahead and hit the drop down menu. We're going to go to our progress note 4.0. We're going to click that. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to select a participant. I'm just going to click the first one on the list for the sake of brevity. Then we're going to click the date. So I'm going to click today's date. And then we're going to click the type of service that we provided very simply. Remember, this is a very important part. The service that you provide has to be accurate for the day. So let's make sure that if we are doing and providing a service, that we have to make sure if we're doing a daily note, we have to make sure that we have the accurate service as well. So here we go. So the type of service that we're providing, we're either going to put a COVID rate or an RL 13 or less rate. Everything else on there we're going to ignore unless, of course, you're an ADT staff, in which case you're going to click the one that corresponds with what you're doing there in the ADT. So for residential, though, you're going to do either one of these two rates. Now, so if you're working Monday through Friday, any shift, doesn't matter what shift, 12 to 8, 8 to 4, 4 to 12, doesn't matter. But if it's Monday through Friday, through the week, you are going to click the COVID RL 13 or less rate there. So ignore that right there. We'll just keep moving forward. So you're going to click that rate there. And then it's already going to autofill what house you work at. So the location is already filled. Now I'm just going to put the exact time. I'm just going to put the shift that I worked. Let's just say it was the 12 to 8 shift from last night. So 12 a.m. to 8, right? 0. So just so this important life changes and events. So this is going to be a place that we save for doctor's visits, family visits, important behavior changes, just things that we find to be significant. And to some degree, you can kind of use your own discretion of how you want to fill that in. But mostly you're going to be leaving it blank on a day-to-day basis and just come straight down here to the residential progress notes section. So we're going to just read through these questions really quickly and basically just click the multiple choice boxes that corresponds with it. So did the participant work to increase independence in any household management? Click all that apply. The answer is going to be yes. So, and then what applied? Did you do cooking, laundry, home cleaning, yard maintenance, things of that nature? So I'm going to put household organization, financial planning, whatever it was that you did during that shift. So next question, did staff provide assistance in ADLs or activities in daily living? So click all that apply. So the answer is going to be, again, yes. Again, because we should be doing these things every day. So yes, and then click which apply, bathing, toileting, things of that nature. So did the participant have an opportunity for social leisure activities of their choice? So again, they should be having those activities availability in the home again. So the answer is going to be yes to that. Did the participant have any medical or healthcare visits today? More than likely they didn't, but again, from time to time they do. So if they did, you're going to hit yes, and you're just going to put a little bit of what happened. What did they do? So if they did have a healthcare visit today, just list the visit and maybe what time it happened. So otherwise, hit no. All right. Did staff support participant with their medication management? Yes, you did. So just hit yes. Did the participant have an opportunity to engage in physical activity? Again, you're probably going to hit yes to that. Physical activity doesn't need to be strenuous. It doesn't need to be a workout or like a sporting event. Just are you guys getting out of the house? Are you moving around throughout the day? Or are they just sitting around? If they're just sitting around all day, we should probably be getting them up just to help them move and get mobile. So more than likely, you should be hitting yes on that one as well. Did staff assist participant in meeting their nutritional needs? Yes. Again, we should be doing this every single day. So basically, even if you didn't do it during your specific shift, you need to put these items on here because we do this during every shift, even if it's from the previous staff member. The participants are utilizing and accessing, or they have access to everything on this list. So meal prep, we do that every single time they eat. Meal plan, nutritional education, participant specific dietary supports. Again, that's just something that happens all the time simply because they have a nutritional plan. Measuring portions, again, we do that just by making sure that the ingredients list and all that stuff is accurate. Did the participant have an opportunity for community inclusion? Yes. How so? Right? We're right now things are still locked down, and we have certain guidelines and all that. Well, they have community inclusion simply through Zoom, the ADT access we have in our Zoom accounts, and then of course with their housemates at home, and of course with staff. So yes, we're going to put community inclusion on there. Did the participant engage in educational opportunities? More than likely, again, yes. And what if they just woke up and read the paper that morning? Again, the Zoom lessons. Maybe they just were using their tablet throughout the day, listening to music. These are all elements of educational opportunities. So those are places that, again, depending on what you did, maybe they did a workout routine, right? So health and wellness. Maybe you were in the Zoom, you did a Zoom lesson, but you did a history lesson simultaneously. So click all that apply. Did the participant work towards meeting their goals as defined by the person-centered service plan? So hit yes or no. So if your participant is a participant with goals, you'll know it because we will have trained you about that particular element of that person's plan. So if they do, go ahead and hit yes, and then in this section, just explain what they did, just briefly, 2 or 3 sentences to meet those goals. If they didn't, just hit no, and if they don't have goals, hit not applicable. Right? All right. So did the participant have any opportunities to engage in activities related to COVID-19 pandemic? So what this means is, are we educating? Are they aware of? Are we as staff making sure that we're maintaining all the different COVID-19 related protocols? So again, the answer is going to be yes. Again, this doesn't mean, again, that we're going over, trainings 15 minutes a day to make sure that they're constantly aware of COVID-19. That's not what this is talking about. This is, are we still staying up to date and doing the general things that we ought to be doing in relationship to that? So again, the answer is yes, and we're going to click all the ones that apply, and that's going to be all 4 of those every single time. So then what we're going to do is we're going to save the note. So it's going to tell me that I successfully saved it, but I'm not done yet. I need to then now submit the note. Once it's submitted, it's going to tell me that it has been submitted. It's awaiting approval. So that note is now gone to the compliance officer, and that person is reviewing the note, and they will either approve it or reject it, in which case I will get a little a little notification in my dashboard, in which I will then go back and redo the note. So, guys, that's how we do a daily note. Pretty simple stuff there. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to myself again or our compliance officer, and we will make sure that we help you out.